Well, hello there, Aquarius. It is so good to see you. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. Today, we are doing your mid-April 2023 tarot reading. So we'll take a look at the overall energies with the oracle cards, and then we'll move to the tarot for more details. Wow, that popped out. And this reading is good for Aquarius Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So if the message here doesn't resonate, I really suggest that maybe you take a look at one of your other signs to see if there's a message there for you. All right, let's get into your reading. Let's see. Dolphin Spirit, this and that are true. Okay. And Mystic Healer, healing energy flows through you. Okay, so the Dolphin Spirit, it's a very interesting energy, okay, because there's a situation in your life perhaps where you feel like one thing is the truth and somebody else feels like they know the truth, okay? So it's understanding that both of you are right, okay? Both of you have a specific truth that is true for you. So your perspective of the situation and their perspective of the situation are both true for each of you, okay? So it's sometimes a little bit of a difficult energy because you could be trying to convince somebody, right, that your way of thinking, okay, is the right way. But part of our evolution is understanding that we each have our own perspective of the universe, of the world, and how we fit in it. So it's broadening your horizons to understand that this person, okay, in this situation, whatever this might be, is seeing things, they truly believe what they are saying, okay? And you are truly believing what you are saying or the way you are perceiving it. Yeah, I feel like this might have to do with a family situation or perhaps a romantic situation. It could be a deep, like a really dear friend. But there's a situation here where you're just not seeing eye to eye with somebody. Okay, and that's okay. I think that's the message here. That's okay. Yeah, really beautiful. I feel like there's, this is going to heal this situation. I feel like you may feel like, well, we're just going to fall out. If they believe that and I believe something else, then there's no way this can work out. It's coming to that very much of that temperance energy of understanding. It's part of our spiritual journey of understanding that, you have a Hierophant. Believing that this can heal, believing that things can get back on track. But it's also about looking at your values. Okay, you're looking at your values. And I think this other person, whether they're saying it or not, is also looking at their values and trying to understand your perception. But it's about being, I'm not going to say it's necessarily compromise, okay? And not that it perhaps may need to be some compromise in this situation, right? But it's almost like an energy of we're going to agree to disagree, right? And then moving on beyond that, saying, okay, we at this time our values or our perception of something, okay, is not the same. And so that's okay, because the relationship is more important to you than what you're disagreeing about, right? So it could be, let's say it's a dear family member, right? And you don't agree on politics or something like that. Doesn't mean that you necessarily say you're out of my life because we don't see politics the same way. It's just maybe you're kind of agreeing, okay, this is something we don't agree about. And to keep the peace, maybe we're not going to talk about it, right? And just, have some type of faith that this relationship, this situation can continue long term, right? As long as you're willing to recognize that you both just, your truth, this and that are true. Their truth is their truth, and your truth is your truth, and both are true. And that sometimes is kind of like this concept, this spiritual concept that is really difficult. It's very much like if, you know, you look up at the night sky and you're standing next to somebody, right? And you're looking at a planet, say you're looking up at Venus in the sky, okay? And you see it, and one perception, your perception of it, is slightly different than their perception of it, right? And the farther apart that you were, the more different the perception would be. But the truth of the matter is that you're both looking at Venus. Your perception of where it is in the sky is a little bit different, but both of you are clearly looking at the same planet. So it's kind of a little bit of that type of energy here. So what do we have here? No place like home. Yeah, I feel like you're understanding, okay, this relationship, and once again, I feel like it could be a family relationship. It's kind of like, okay, this relationship means a lot to me. I'm going to have to kind of like step into that energy of agree to disagree, right? And perhaps just not talk about it, or just say, okay, we're going to table this discussion for now, you know, and believe in the impossible. Ace of Wands, you know, getting inspired. Okay, I can see that this relationship can stay together, you know, we can continue forward, you know, we can have this energy of being together long term, keeping the family together, or whatever it is, because we really are getting into a place of a little bit of compromising, but it's not, I feel like there's more of, we're just going to table it, we're not going to talk about it, you know, there's more of that type of energy. Okay, so let's see what your area of resistance or obstacle is. So you have the family, you know, I feel like, you know, there's something, and it could have something to do, you know, with the Hierophant, could have something to do about family values, or, you know, this could be you and you have an adult child that has children. You could be differing about how to bring up the children, or the type of religion to bring them up in, or you know, what the family stands for. And it's almost as if you just kind of have to realize, okay, that perhaps continuing to share your side of this is not helping the mending, because the person that you're dealing with is not really going to change their mind. So if it's something that you can't live with, then you have to be willing to leave the relationship. If you can get to the point where you're kind of like, okay, you know, I see this, I recognize it, I may not agree with it, but the family is more important to me. It kind of reminds me, I have a friend, and she's not Aquarius, but it kind of reminds me, she's my age, and she has a daughter that's married and has a couple of little children. And they were having this discussion the other day about, you know, holidays, you know, and the differing opinions, because her daughter is married somebody else that has different holiday expectations. And it was, you know, I mean, my friend was really kind of like, oh my goodness, you know, like, this is not the way our family grew up. But it's kind of understanding, okay, your daughter has married somebody else, right, that celebrates holidays in a different way. They're working it out how they want to do it in their own family sector, right? And it's kind of like understanding, you know, okay, you sometimes have to, it's not about holding back your opinion. It's not that. It's about sharing your truth, but at the same time recognizing that that may be something that you can't change. I feel like there's something here that you can't change, and it's really hard. And I really send you much love and hugs, because I feel like it's something that's really, you know, pulling on your heartstrings, you know, could have something to do with your grandchildren or your children or something like that. And it's kind of like, but I care so much about them and their upbringing and that type of thing. And it's kind of like, but that's not in your realm. That's not something that you can control. I guess that's the message here. And just really kind of concentrating, you know, on the treasure in this relationship of understanding that you may just want to kind of like back up a little bit because conclusions are within reach, understanding that the situation is going to kind of like soften. If it's really a difficult situation at this time, allowing it to kind of soften. Okay. And then I think things will be okay because your hard work is paying off. A win-win outcome is forecast. See, it has a nice ending, Aquarius. So even if it seems difficult at this time, it's kind of just understanding that I think you and the other person or persons involved in this are kind of like experiencing that spiritual lesson of this and that are true, right? And so let's see what the advice is. Here now. Yep, just stay here now. Stay present. Take a deep breath. Just understand, okay, there is a lot of love in this situation, okay? And it's kind of like, okay, what is really important to me in this situation? Is what you're disagreeing that important that you're willing to walk away from the situation? If so, it's time to walk away because I don't think they're going to change their mind. But if this is something that you can say, okay, yeah, that's kind of out of my control. I can speak my truth. Once again, you can speak your truth. But then it's kind of like letting it go. Yeah, because you have the angels of the side. Luck is on your side. Yeah, and then I think things might move forward. But you have to be careful with this Knight of Swords of not being too determined to win in this situation. It is about what is the win-win, right? It's not about you winning and somebody losing or they winning and you losing, okay? It is about what's the win-win here. And understanding that luck is on your side. I really like that, especially with the Wheel of Fortune. Luck is on your side. Your angels are working on this. They're trying to help things come together, but also understanding that, I feel like the other person, I'm not saying they're changing their mind, but I think they're softening their tone. If that helps, because sometimes you may have had a heated discussion or about to have a heated discussion about something, but then it's kind of like, okay, take a deep breath, just kind of like relax, go into your separate corners if you need to, and allow the energy to kind of die down a little bit. And I feel like everybody will come back to this situation with a little bit of a softer energy. Let me go ahead and clarify that because, yeah, the King of Pentacles is really kind of coming out here. So it could have something to do, with either finances. It could have something to do with finances. Or, head of household type of, energy. Could be that this is, you're married to this person. You could be disagreeing about money. Yeah. Yeah. And then you have, right. Yeah. You have the Magician and the Devil on the bottom, very manipulative energy. But I feel as if there is a little bit about speaking your truth, but not trying to manipulate the energy in this or trying to convince or somebody else. Okay. It's about just speak your truth. Okay. Be clear about how you feel about this situation. Okay. No emotions. Okay. This kind of would start playing on the emotions of the other person. This is just speaking your truth. I feel this way because, right? Or, I feel, slighted when you decide to have a holiday celebration and not invite me or whatever, kind of just speaking your truth, using those I statements. And then I feel, look at this, you will be recognized. Okay. You will have some type of victory, a sense of, okay, at least I have been heard. Right? I feel like there is this sense of, okay, we can allow this, there's an epiphany about how you and this situation can go long term. But it does take a little bit of, speaking your truth, but not being overly emotional. And Aquarius, you're not normally overly emotional, but it is just kind of like being in that really grounded energy of understanding that you're speaking your truth, but not playing, perhaps. There could be a little bit of wanting to play, or the other person is wanting to play on your emotional heartstrings. And it's kind of like, okay, we're having this conversation. This and that are true, but this and that are very concise, right? They're factual. This is this and that is that, right? It's not about the emotional. I feel like there could be some emotions running around in this situation, but I do love a win-win. Outcome is forecast. All right, let's pull a soul truth card here for you for some final advice. And Aquarius, I do personal readings. So if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you. Does my life have room for more pleasure and play? Yeah, you could be a little bit kind of like, you know, a little stuck in the way that you're going at this, and maybe it is about more that lighthearted energy of understanding. I would have to ask, you know, and this is a general reading, so it may not resonate, but I would have to ask, is this something that is important to you, or is it something that, you know, why is this, I guess the question is, why is this so important to you? You know, what is so very important to you, to get kind of down to that truth with yourself about why this is so important to you. And then to recognize, okay, you know, how does that fit into what they are saying or that other person is saying, right? And how does that fit together? And so is this really that important to me that I'm willing to kind of walk away from this situation? I think you're saying no. I think you're saying this relationship or situation is more important to me than kind of winning this battle, you know, between whoever this is. In what area are you lacking pleasure right now? Maybe in certain relationships or with work. Is it possible to shift the seriousness of life to experiencing a more creative, wild, and playful side to you? Yeah. And I think that this situation has kind of made the relationship more serious, right? And it's kind of like, oh, you know, it's almost a little bit of the elephant in the room. It's kind of like, okay, let's just talk and both agree that we're just going to disagree and move on from this. You know, I think that might be the healthiest energy here. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I really do appreciate all of your support through liking, commenting, and subscribing. And please be gentle and kind with yourself as you're moving through this. I really am sending you lots of love and hugs as you transition. All right, I'll leave it there. And I hope to see you again really soon. Bye for now.